I've been staring at two job offers for a week. They're both good. One has a better salary, but the other one is more interesting work. And I feel completely stuck. I make a decision, and then an hour later I change my mind. I feel like if I choose wrong, I'm ruining my career. How do you know which choice is the right one?
Most people in your situation are asking the wrong question.
What do you mean? The question is simple. Job A or job B? Which one should I take?
That question assumes there is a single right answer waiting to be discovered, like a key hidden under a rock. It assumes that if you just analyze enough, you'll find it.
Yes, exactly. So I make lists, pros and cons, I talk to people, I try to find the objective best choice.
And that search for the best choice is the trap. The real problem isn't the decision. It's our belief that a good decision can only be measured by a good outcome.
But isn't that what a good decision is? One that works out well?
That sounds logical. We judge our past decisions by their results. If we bought a stock and it went up, it was a good decision. If we started a project and it failed, it was a bad one.
Right.
But you can't control the outcome. You can make a brilliant, well-researched decision to open a restaurant, and 6 months later, a global pandemic hits. Was your decision bad, or were you just unlucky?
I guess you were unlucky.
And you can make a terrible decision. You can invest all your money in a joke cryptocurrency because you liked the logo, and you could get lucky and make a fortune. Was that a good decision?
No, that was a stupid decision with a lucky outcome. I see what you mean. The result isn't the same as the quality of the choice itself.
Exactly. So we need to stop trying to predict the future. We need to focus only on what we can control, the process of deciding. We need to build a process that is so sound, so honest, that we can trust the choice regardless of the outcome. A process that is truly deliberate.
A deliberate process. So not just flipping a coin, not just going with my gut feeling.
Gut feelings are important, but they can be influenced by fear or excitement or what you ate for lunch. A strong process protects you from those temporary feelings. It helps you separate the signal from the noise.
Okay, so a better process. That makes sense. I guess that's why I make pros and cons lists. Isn't that a deliberate process?
It's a start. Most people believe that a pros and cons list is the most rational way to make a choice. It feels objective. You list the good things on one side, the bad on the other. Then you count them up.
Yes, and that's where I get stuck. Job A has better salary and senior title. Job B has more creative freedom and better location. Which list is better? How do you weigh them?
You can't, because the list gives equal importance to everything on it. Senior title looks just as important on paper as creative freedom. But in your life, are they equal?
Not at all. Creative freedom is probably much more important to me than a title.
But the list doesn't know that. The list is just a collection of facts and feelings. Many of the points are often vague or ambiguous.
Better culture is one I wrote down. That's very ambiguous. I don't really know what that means until I'm there.
So the list creates the illusion of logic, but it's often just a reflection of your current emotional state. A better way is to ignore the pros and cons at first, and instead define your principles for the decision.
My principles? Like my values? Honesty, integrity, things like that?
More specific than that, think of them as your personal rules for this specific choice. What are the 2 or 3 things that absolutely must be true for you to be happy and successful in your next role, in this season of your life? This isn't about the job, it's about you. This is your criterion.
So not a long list, just a few things. My criteria, I guess. Okay, for this job change, I think my first criterion would be the ability to work on projects from start to finish. I hate being just a small part of a big machine.
Good. That's clear and specific. What else?
I need to work with a team that I respect, a team that is skilled and collaborative. That's a second criterion. And maybe a third. I need to feel like the work is helping people in some small way. It doesn't have to change the world, but it has to have a positive purpose.
Excellent. So you have 3 criteria. 1, project ownership. 2, high-quality team. 3, a sense of purpose. Now look at job A and job B. Forget the salary, forget the title, forget the location for a moment. Evaluate each option only against those 3 criteria.
Okay, job A, the one with the higher salary, it's a very large company. I would be managing a small part of a very big project, so it fails on criterion 1. The team is famous for being competitive, not collaborative, so it probably fails on criterion 2. It probably has a positive purpose, but I wouldn't feel it directly, so it fails on most of my criteria.
And job B?
Job B is a smaller company. I would be leading my own projects, so it passes Criterion 1. I've met the team and they seemed very smart and supportive. It passes Criterion 2. And their whole business is about making education more accessible. It definitely passes Criterion 3.
So
When I look at it that way, it's not even a close decision. Job B is the obvious choice. But why did it feel so hard before?
because your pros and cons list was cluttered with things that don't actually align with your core needs. The high salary and senior title at Job A were distracting you. They are nice to have, but they are not one of your essential criteria for fulfillment right now. Your deliberate process was to define your criteria first.
It's like I was trying to choose between two cars by comparing the color of one to the engine size of the other. I wasn't comparing the same things. But I still feel a little worried. What if I'm wrong? What if I take Job B and I hate it in 6 months? The fear of regret is still there.
This brings us to the third big mindset shift. Most people believe they need to feel 100% certain before they make a decision. We wait for that feeling of absolute confidence because we think it will protect us from future pain.
Yes, I want a guarantee. I want to know it's the right path.
But that feeling is an illusion. You can never be certain about the future. Waiting for certainty is a form of procrastination. The goal is not certainty, it is clarity. You have clarity now. You know that Job B aligns with your stated principles. The final step is not to find more information. The final step is to commit.
Just decide?
Yes, you make the decision and then you direct all your energy toward making that decision a success. You stop asking, did I make the right choice? And you start asking, how can I make this choice the right one? That requires resolve.
So the confidence doesn't come before the decision. The resolve comes with the decision.
Exactly. Confidence is a result of commitment, not a requirement for it. You commit to the path. You commit to solving the problems that will inevitably appear on that path. Second-guessing yourself is a waste of the energy you need to make the path successful.
That makes sense, but it still feels difficult. If this process is so effective, define criteria, decide, then commit, why do so many smart people I know still struggle? They get stuck in analysis paralysis for months.
Because letting go of the need for a guaranteed outcome is scary. It means taking full responsibility. When we stay in a state of analysis, we don't have to be responsible for the result. We can always say, I'm still thinking, or I need more data. The decision is still out there in the future.
It's safer to not decide.
It feels safer, but it's not. Indecision is a decision in itself. It's a decision to let external circumstances or the passage of time choose for you, and that is a terrible way to live. There's another reason people get stuck. They worry about the nature of the decision itself.
What do you mean?
They treat every decision like it's permanent and life-altering, but many decisions are not. A key question to ask is, how reversible is this?
Is it reversible? So choosing what to eat for dinner is very reversible. If I don't like it, I can eat something else tomorrow.
Correct. Choosing which person to marry is not easily reversible. It requires a much slower, more careful process. What about your job choice? If you take Job B and it's a mistake, what happens?
I guess I find another job. It wouldn't be easy, but it's definitely reversible. I wouldn't be stuck there forever. It's not a life sentence.
Thinking about that lowers the stakes, doesn't it? It makes the choice feel less like a final exam and more like an experiment. You are testing a hypothesis. Your hypothesis is, a job that meets my 3 criteria will make me more fulfilled. Taking Job B is how you run the experiment.
I like that. An experiment, not a final judgment on my intelligence. So the whole system works together.
Yes, it starts with shifting your focus from the outcome to the process. You want a deliberate process you can trust.
And that process isn't a simple pros and cons list, which can be ambiguous. It's about defining a clear criterion, or a few criteria, for what success means to you in this situation.
Exactly. Once you have that clarity, you don't need to wait for the feeling of certainty. You simply make the choice with resolve.
And part of that resolve comes from understanding that most decisions are reversible. You are not making a permanent choice, so the pressure is lower.
And that is how you stop second-guessing. Regret comes from feeling you made a careless or uninformed choice. But if you know you used a sound, deliberate process based on honest personal criteria, there is nothing to regret. You made the best possible choice with the information and self-knowledge you had at the time. You can stand by that process even if the outcome isn't perfect.
It's like the choice isn't about the job anymore. It's about me. It's about what I value. The process forces me to actually know myself.
That is the real purpose of a difficult decision. It's not an obstacle. It's an opportunity to become clearer about who you are and what you want.
So when I feel that anxiety about a choice, it's not a sign that I'm broken. It's a sign that I haven't defined my criteria. I'm trying to compare apples and oranges.
Precisely. The anxiety is a signal to stop looking outward for more information and start looking inward for more clarity.
I think something just clicked. The goal isn't to make the perfect decision. The goal is to be the kind of person who can make a good decision and then commit to it. The decision is just the practice.